apologize. Good afternoon. How are you, Trinidad and Tobago? And welcome once again to Cloud 9. You know, there's just one downside to being so relaxed in your workplace. One or two things could happen. One, like just now, you saw me so caught up in the opening of the music and dancing. And other times I might come back, I might seem just resting my head, just relaxing. I might fall asleep. It's that relaxing at ACT, and I'm telling you, it's a very relaxing environment to work in. Very comfortable. So George, if I fall asleep during the break, because I, enjoying a little cool breeze and the ambiance and forgive me. Forgive me, TNT. Welcome once again to another episode of Cloud 9 right here on ACTN, the only show that can truly make you smile. And we are going to do our best to make some people smile today because they're going through a very, 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 how should I call it, sensitive and drastic storm. And I'm making reference to the friends and family and colleagues of PC Anson Benjamin. Now, I'm sure many of you all are aware of the story. Mr. Benjamin was shot just a couple days ago, Monday night to be exact, while responding to a robbery right here in South Trinidad. And the prognosis has been slim. But there's a saying in the Bible, whose report do you believe? And later on in the program, we're going to do something very different on ACTN as we do our part to help give some hope to the family, friends, and colleagues of PC Anson Benjamin. As the doctors are saying, the chances of survival may be slim. But again, we say, whose report do you believe? So we're going to deal with that a little later on during the course of the program. Now, yesterday we spoke with the second vice president of the Steelworkers Union of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Narayan Singh, in relation to the pension woes. As you know, they had stormed the premises, and this situation has been going on for a very long time now. And we have many people on the breadline, and some have not been dealing with it well at all. And of course, it's not surprising. It's already a recession year and people are literally at the end of their rope. But what we don't want people to do is take that rope and, as they say, think of anything drastic. And we've heard about reports recently of what this recession has done. There was a story just a few months ago, I think it was in February, early February, of a couple that took their lives because of this recession that we're in. And again, it's about giving people hope. We don't want people feeling as though life has come to an end because of the recession. There's a saying where there's life, there's hope. And sometimes when we're about to give up, there's a door right on the other side for us to open. So we're going to, try our best to help people during this time. As I mentioned, ArcelorMittal, one of the biggest stories over the past few months, the president, Mr. Christopher Henry, he will be joining us on the set, or he's actually scheduled to join us on the set a little later on during the course of the program, just to give an update on to what's happening. There's another meeting to take place today, I believe at 2:30, with the Joint Trade Union Movement as well as and the Labour Minister, as they try to find some sort of resolution to this situation. Hundreds of workers, I would even go as far as to say, and you're saying hundreds of workers, but in reality, hundreds of workers, but thousands of families are affected, or 1,000 members of families are affected because of what took place in this company. And there are other companies which would have laid off many people. And again, I hear a lot of talk from different people. They can't go on anymore. Some people are talking, and I've heard it in different sectors, about suicide. Listen, under the rope doesn't mean you had to hang yourself with the rope. Talking plain. Right? Because that is what, enemy will try to feed your mind as though there's no hope. Let me tell you something. That is when God steps in. that is when he steps in. When we think that there is nothing left, God is saying, let me step in and prove who I am. Let me prove that I am God. And let him do it. The problem that we have sometimes is that sometimes we're afraid to let go of what we think is right to embrace what is right. And I want people at this time to really understand that a recession, and this came up actually in the beginning of the year at my church, sometimes a recession is God's way of saying, okay, lean on me now. You depended on everything else. Everything else you depended on. Now it's time for you to just lean on me. And I want people to take that away in this first segment. Lean on God. So this time, we go into a little more detail as to what's happening in the news in our high noon segment on ACTN. Let's go. All right, so earlier when we mentioned just a few minutes ago about the issue at ArcelorMittal, there's a meeting at 2:30. Now, yesterday we heard Mr. Ranting mention as well that investors are very much interested in the company still, despite what is happening and despite, the billions of dollars in debt that the company claims to be in. And I say claims because there are those who just don't believe. They're telling the whole story, but that is the report. They're meeting with the Labour Minister today to try and iron out the issue. So we're hoping to get a feedback from Mr. Henry later on. Likewise, one other issue that we're going to discuss later on in the program is the issue of child abuse. Another video popped up recently of a father beating his son. I have not seen the entire video, I'll be very honest with you. But from what I was told and from those who would have seen it, they're saying it's quite heinous in nature. So we're going to discuss that as well later on in the program. I'm going to try squeezing a lot today as best as we can. The whole issue of child abuse. When does it go from, where's the line drawn, and where is that thin line between child abuse and discipline? And it's something we've discussed before. We've exhausted in various media circles, but it seems as though we're still not exhausted enough from hearing it, because a lot of people still don't seem to know when to draw that line. So we'll be discussing that as well during the course of the program this afternoon. So let's take a short break. When we come back, we go into our next segment. It's our Wise Up segment, and it's in relation to a brawl that took place in San Fernando. It made the papers today, and I just have one question to ask. There's a saying, a hungry man is an angry man, is it? A hungry man is an angry man, right? I will leave you on that for now. When we come back, I'll explain why I said that. Wise up! Don't adjust your set. No, you're not seeing things. It's me, Sheldon Yearwood, and I'm back with you on a new network, new time. We live in a time where many people are bound by the pressures of life, and sadly they have forgotten how it was to smile. So join me at 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays from the 4th of April on ACTN. This is Cloud9, the only show that can truly make you smile. right, and welcome back to Cloud 9 right here on ACTN. I am Sheldon Yearwood. Thank you for joining us. So in our next segment, we're going to deal with the whole issue of hunger. Yeah. Let's wise up, people. Next segment, let's go. Right. So, a hungry man is an angry man. But this just takes it to a whole new level. Let's pull up the story, please. So, this story in The Guardian today. Now, it started off as an argument at a fast food outlet in San Fernando and ended in a bloody street brawl outside the Guardian's South Bureau office, Chancery Lane. At the end of the fight, 2 men were arrested and the third was on the run. Witnesses said the 3 men were standing in line waiting to get served when they began arguing. One of the men cuffed the other in the face. In retaliation, the victim broke a bottle and stabbed his attacker in the face. Several people left their meals, I expected as such, and ran out of the building as the fight escalated. The security guard on duty chased the men out of the restaurant, and they began running towards Chancery Lane, cursing loudly. Police officers were on patrol, arrested 2 of the men. Several people criticized the police officers who did not have a pair of handcuffs. One of the men appeared disoriented and kept falling to the ground. I mean, come on, let's be real, TNT. You'll be disoriented too if you get hit with that chicken wing. Okay, actually, let's be honest. So, putting your joke aside, we're not sure exactly what started the fight. You know, it may have been something totally unrelated to buying food, or maybe, you know, somebody really hit with a chicken wing or a leg in the face, or maybe somebody literally tossed a salad at somebody. I don't know. People fight for less in this country, really. So, whatever it may be, Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know. Remember yesterday we spoke about reacting and responding? All right. People have to understand, if you air your anger in the public sphere, chances are 1 or 2 things will happen. 1, you'll get beat down, or 2, the police will hold you, handcuffs or not. So at the end of the day, you know, people really have to learn how to control their temper and their anger. You know, it's always better to fuel your things privately so you can deal with it in a particular way. But we have seen countless incidents of people engaging in public brawl, and my question always is, what do you expect to happen in the long run? Most times you will get caught, or it will end up escalating into something more. So people really need to temper themselves. I keep saying we're a very emotionally driven society, very sensitive. We get angry for the slightest of things. So now, 2 men now may face fines, or I'm not sure how far it's going to go. They may face a little jail time. I don't know how it's going to go, depending on the evidence brought before the court. But this could have been avoided. Oh, because of that chicken wing. Can I leave the wing? That is all right. Just take 2 bread, some fried. Well, I know which fast food hotel they went to, so let me call exact ingredients. Next thing you see, they went to sue me. I have no money. But again, we really need as a society to temper ourselves. We get upset for the slightest things. And again, it's not stated exactly what caused the fight, but many of these things can be avoided if we just learn to channel our anger and channel our energy into something more positive. Because look at this, and from what I'm seeing here, it's some young men. Some young men. And for what? Because the wing too small? Buy fish. Healthier. Not taking no pound at any particular fast food hotel, please, okay? Good. So, moving right along, before we get into any more trouble with anyone. So, again, people, I'm asking you to please channel your energy. Too often, look, for example, I don't know if you remember this story about 3 weeks ago. Road rage is another example of this. where a woman was dragged out. I don't know if she dragged her out, but the man in question had beaten the woman to the point where she was bruised. And I myself, you know, what were you high on? What were you really high on to believe that was a justifiable action to hit a woman in that nature? I mean, come on. We are too enraged, and that's why it is so important for us at ACTN to take all of these everyday issues that we face and we hear about in the media and try to find a balance, try to find some sort of calm amidst it all. And that's why, you know, I'm just going back quickly before we go to the break to the president of ArcelorMittal. One thing I like about his demeanor and how he has approached everything, he has truly epitomized what a leader should be. I am yet to see or hear this man speak where he shouts. He always has a very calm demeanor about him. And it goes back to the whole point about being a calm in the storm. And he has been leading this union, leading these hundreds of workers through a very sensitive time. And he has done a very good job at it. A very good. Actually, one person had told me, and I'm saying this, you know, for the first time publicly, and I hope he doesn't mind, but it's a good thing. He said because of his nature and him being a Christian as well, he's not the type that will get into any sort of altercation. He tries to avoid it. You know, there are times he'll have to step in the gap, as they say, but he always does so with caution, even when he's emotionally driven. And I want to compliment him on that. And I said we'll be talking with him shortly. Whether by the phone or he may try to drop in before he goes to his meeting. So if he does stop coming to the studio, it's going to be very brief, but of course we do welcome him. So let's take a short break. When we come back, we continue right here on ACTN, Cloud 9. We have lots to discuss with you, including child abuse, right here on Channel 9. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
See, he looked so handsome, so good, so healthy. I didn't know, and I unknowingly got it from him. I tested positive for HIV, and when the doctor gave me the news, I knew my life would never be the same. But a statistic I said I'd never be. So beginning from that day, 10 years ago, I began writing my own success story. My days are filled with love, fun, and laughter because my family stood with me, supported me, and did not reject me. I am a success story. Even my doctors worked with me, and I've religiously taken my meds to remain healthy. I am a success story. Risky sexual behaviors I no longer engage in. Instead, I choose to encourage you young man, you young woman. The safe choice is really the right choice. And wait, be responsible, be accountable, know the facts, and I tell you, you too can have your own success story.
All right, and welcome back to Cloud 9 right here on ACTN Channel 9. Of course, that's not the only avenue whereby you can see the program. We're going to have the information up on the screen for you as well. The different avenues you can actually, I think there's 5, Blink, Digicel, and the other avenues you can look at the program. You can also send me your comments and your questions, as the case may be, to my Cloud 9 email. That's cloud.9. cloud.9 at actnvoice.com. You can send me your text as well. You can call me after the show at 360-9515. That's 360-9515. Right, I just got word that Mr. Henry is on his way to the studio. So once he's here, we're going to bring him on set and just give you a quick update on what's happening with these hundreds of steelworkers. I know that is of public interest to many people. So we can get that update to you as well. Let's at this time go to our next segment on the program entitled, Let's Chat, TNT. Let's chat. All Hi, welcome back. We're going to get the phone lines up on the screen at this time. Let's get the phone lines up on the screen. On this segment, we're going to have a lot of things that we're going to discuss with you on the program. One of them, as I said, the issue concerning ArcelorMittal. The other one, the issue concerning child abuse. Now, there's a video that I mentioned about a father beating his son, I believe it is. But I was brought to the attention of another one, which I did not see. This is about, well, it is again about a mother beating her phone fell. Right, the child broke the phone, as the case may be, and she decided to break the child back, to put it mildly. And I heard it was pretty gruesome. I said, I did not see the video. Maybe somebody could, send me a link of the video, as the case may be. But again, it goes back to the point of the gentleman in the brawl. It goes back to the point of the woman who's beaten in her car. It goes back, people are just not aware, they don't know how to deal with everyday stress. Stress today is very different than 30 years ago. But it boils down to how do we manage our stress, and a lot of us take our anger and our frustration out on people. And most times than less, it's people who are deemed innocent. And that is something that we need to look at. And we're going to be speaking with Mrs. Dr. Diane Douglas. I don't know if we have on the lines there. The guys will let me know. But we're going to try and get to Dr. Diane Douglas just to shed some light on why do we continue to grapple with this situation, right, of child abuse. You have Dr. Diyal Singh on the line, do we? All right. Let's speak with Dr. Diyal Singh at this time as well. Dr. Vami Diyal Singh, he is the Secretary of the Psychiatry Association of Trinidad and Tobago, and I believe he's on the line at this time. Dr. Diyal Singh, a pleasant good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Sheldon.
And it's a pleasure. Thank you for joining us on such short notice. You are on ACTN. Thank
lovely,
you.
Lovely, lovely. Glad to be on. First time I'm on here. So
yes.
Lovely.
I appreciate your time. Recently, we saw some videos. Well, I glimpsed one. It was aired on another station of a man beating his son mercilessly. And now I'm hearing of another case where a mother, because her stepmother, the child broke her phone, and she literally broke the phone over her back. I'm just saying that. But my point is, we continue to grapple, Dr. Diyal Singh, with this issue of that thin line between discipline and abuse. And to me, like, we discussed this before on the previous station. You discussed this on other media houses as well. But we continue to grapple with this problem. And to me, it all boils down to we are just not managing stress properly. But even more so, I would think by now we would have found other avenues to help the country, and I say the country in its entirety, cope with these issues. But why do we continue to grapple with this problem? Why haven't we found or made a really serious dent in dealing with this?
Well, remember the parents, the step-parents, anyone who's dealing with these children, right? Now, the idea is these adults have their levels of stress where they in society, in their jobs, dealing with other people on the roads. So when they come home, sometimes that level of stress now is transmitted now to the children. So while they may be at home, they have not been able to diffuse themselves in such a way that they would be able to handle these children properly. Now, usually, if you have a home where a husband and a wife, a typical married couple, usually, one may be the bad guy, good guy. So when one may want to hit, the other one may draw back. When one may want to scold, the other one will be there. That's support. So what we are seeing is we are lacking that couple intervention or married or parents that in a home where you may not get, both parents. So while one may tend to lose it, the other one may hold back. So again, that is one reason why we are getting more violence against children in the homes, because you don't have that typical, father-mother, that stable relationship before. So that is one reason. The other reason is the stress, the pent-up stress that's coming on. And again, the other reason is that, here some people have not learned the correct parenting technique. If we were beaten as a child, we may think, you have to be, also beat. And there are other ways. There are 4 parenting techniques, actually. And they find that there's the authoritative one, the authoritarian one, and the authoritarian one is, you probably beat them and you give them licks, you actually don't hear their sides, while the authoritative one is sit down and explain to the child, hello, why did you interrupt my phone? Why did you do something? And but it takes patience. It really takes patience from a parent.
So Dr. The other thing, just to stick up in, so again it boils back down to the whole issue of there seems to be no regard for family life anymore. If we look at international media, even local media, a lot of people are pushing this this ideology of me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
It seems as though single parenthood now is now a fad. Now there are some cases, just to make the point very clear, where you'll have a breakdown of the family and marriages will fall apart. But I've actually seen instances where people are saying they prefer to be by themselves, or they opt to have a child on their own, whether it be the woman or the man will say, I just want a child, I go mind my child. If you agree with me, I go mind my child. I just want a child. I just feel I need a child. Mind my child. Or the woman might say, you know what? I don't need no man. I'll mind my child. And you hear it on both sides. So it seems to be like a fashion statement. Just throw on clothes and then take it off when you're ready. And would you say that mindset is contributing as well because there's no regard for family life anymore?
Definitely so. And you see the challenges of parenthood. Remember, it's a privilege to be a parent, but it's also a great responsibility. And that challenge, you have to change your mindset when you're a parent. And this is difficulty. And the best person to have a child with is a partner who actually loves that child, who is part of that child, who's part of that family. And so this is a problem that is lacking. So you have again situations where anybody can lose it after a hard day's work and a child is there. But if you have that other partner there, that partner could diffuse it. If you have even like a home with traditional granny or some other relatives there, you may have that level of the others may take the slack up and
So a support system.
Yeah, support system. But it's difficult in a world that is stressful, and then coming home. And you walk with your stress and you take it out on your child, which is wrong. Again, if you don't have that support system like the family, the home with the granny, the aunt, the uncle, people there that could all intervene, all speak to the child, all diffuse you if you're too angry.
Right.
Remember the other solutions people were saying, have a parenting sort of a network where you could reach out, but sometimes in a haste, you don't have time to call. You just get angry with your child and you abuse the child, and this is what is happening.
Now, I know for a fact that there will be limitations, realistically, and there's only so much that the NGOs and the church and the state could do. But what I've realized, though, is that United stand divided we fall. What I've realized is that the NGOs will work by themselves. The church will work by themselves. The ministry will work with who they want to work with. So therefore, what we have is everybody trying to do their own thing, but nobody's coming together. And can this? I know that you yourself and others would meet with the various ministries, but can we push for a more concerted effort on the part of all of these entities to work together instead of trying to do it by themselves?
Yes, I think there's always strength in togetherness, right? So if all can combine and have their resources, you can find that you may have resources and you could divide it north-south, if needs be. And let us say a parent has a child that is turning to delinquency or deviant behavior. Now that parent will come home after hard day's work and get so angry because you're trying, a single parent sometimes tries their best to try to hold the family together and educate their child. And let's say that child is now leaning into deviancy because no guidance, no after-school supervision. Now that parent would need help. So therefore, if we have these parenting support groups, both north and south, that you can call. Now you can call in people in your home to come in, to link up with the mother, to teach your mother, to teach your child proper parenting, let the child know there are other people outside looking at them, let social workers be there. So you have a support group that you're linking up. So you're linking up that child with the church, you're linking up that child with this parenting support group, you're linking up the mother now to know she has help too, because remember, sometimes you get burnout dealing with a child who is going on the wrong path, and you have to have that help. Plus, if a child is going on the wrong path, you have to have, places where you can put that child, not like a boot camp, but a place where you could put that child so the child knows, listen, you go there, you get better guidance, you better, buck up. Or a child who is not going to school, long ago they had school inspectors, if your child not in school, they come home to find you. These are things a child needs to know that, hey, my mother working, I can get away with certain things. But no, look, there's a group now looking out for me, looking at me. And that's a concerted effort between the parenting support group, the church, the mother, and the school. And this is what is needed.
My last question before I relieve you, Dr. Dialsingh, I know you're very busy. Now, everything that we've discussed, these things have been, aired before in the public domain, and some things, of course, is just a reminder to others. And of course, the whole idea of working together as one unit. The mental state of TNT, the mental state of the populace, would you say, from your professional opinion, that it's going to be a serious uphill battle to bring us to that place of where we will address these problems in a very, how should I say, holistic manner? Are we too far gone? Or, it's reachable in a short space of time?
I think, we look at emotional, mental illness, the emotional problems in society, and we say like 1 in 5 persons will have it, 1 in 4, 1 in 5. We are seeing more children disturbed, and we're seeing this. But remember, we know all the answers, it's just to get together and put
That's
it
the
down.
problem. That's it.
Just to put it down. We don't have all the answers. This same talk, years ago, people were speaking about delinquent children. Years ago, people were speaking about stress in the workplace. But it's just now to say how, it's to put that action. And action is now, we can't be waiting. We can't have another big symposium or another big committee,
right.
Because small changes could be done. Small changes.
Yeah, we love to have big gatherings and big meetings, and it's saying nothing.
Yeah, and you see, all that is like, it sounds like a big press release, and it gives you the appearance. It looks good on paper, in this glossy paper, but then to test the system, you have to test any system you put in place. You understand? So really speaking, we could hit the ground running by tomorrow, saying, we have OGTs that need jobs, you have psychologists, people came out, you give them, you renegotiate in this current times with salaries if you think, the economy is not good. Offer them something. Some people will be willing to take half a salary if they now come out and they cannot get a job. But you can have these centers open. You can have like a bus service working that you could, like a taxi service that you could mobilize to carry a team to the homes to speak to these children. It doesn't cost much, It's really the effort and the bureaucracy that weighs you down. All over. So you really need the effort to come and say, listen, let's hire some OGTs. Let's get even a corporate sponsorship to give us a maxi taxi for North, for South. Let's hire a driver who lost his job in some company. So it is not much, but you could achieve plenty. So you could start small. Start in a small area.
They're taking the red tape and trying to silence people with the tape.
Yeah.
Strap the red tape on the mouth.
Yeah, that's it.
Dr. Dialsingh, thank you so very much for joining us on the line. I know both yourself and Dr. Douglas are very busy, so thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time. And hopefully we can, have a panel discussion. I know we spoke about that before.
Yes.
But let's hope in this season we can really get it going and try and find some solution to this problem, Doctor.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Sheldon.
Thank you very much. A wonderful day to you. Okay. And Dr. Brahma Dialsingh, he is
Please hang up.
This woman always jumping in my conversation, but all right, cool. So we have Dr. Varma Dialsingh, the secretary of the Psychiatry Association of Trinidad and Tobago, always willing to, of course, give his professional advice on this problem. But I want to say this before we take the break, though. Delinquent children, they don't just pop out of thin air. Delinquent children are as a result of delinquent society. And delinquent society is also linked to delinquent leaders. And when I say leaders, I'm not just talking about those that sit in the high-rise buildings. A leader is a mother, a leader is a father, a leader is a brother, a leader is an employer, a leader is a priest or a pastor. So the point is, we have to look at ourselves and see how we may have been delinquent and how we look at things, because it's a domino effect that affects children. They don't just come out of the womb bad. So look at the linkage and see where there's a crack, because once there's a crack in that linkage, the chain then falls apart. Now, a chain could do one or two things. A chain can keep you in bondage, and then a chain can also keep you together. What we're looking at here is a strong linkage to keep our children together. That's the chain we're looking at. So I want people to keep that in mind. I want to pass the blame on people. That needs to stop. All right? Let's take a break and come back. We can continue with our Let's Chat segment right here on Cloud9. Finding solutions for everyday problems for everyday people. Smile, TNT. It ain't all that bad.
See, he looked so handsome, so good, so healthy. I didn't know, and I unknowingly got it from him. I tested positive for HIV, and when the doctor gave me the news, I knew my life would never be the same. But a statistic I said I'd never be. So beginning from that day, 10 years ago, I began writing my own success story. My days are filled with love, fun, and laughter because my family stood with me, supported me, and did not reject me. I am a success story. Even my doctors worked with me, and I've religiously taken my meds to remain healthy. I am a success story. Risky sexual behaviors I no longer engage in. Instead, I choose to encourage you young man, you young woman. The safe choice is really the right choice. And wait, be responsible, be accountable, know the facts, and I tell you, you too can have your own success story.
Right here on ACTN, Channel 9. Of course, the other avenues that you can watch the program. This is our Let's Chat segment. Earlier on, we were discussing the issue of child abuse. We are still going to try and make contact with Mr. Christopher Henry. He is the president of the Steel Workers Union of Trinidad and Tobago. I know he's hustling to a meeting in Port of Spain. He was in South Trinidad, but we're going to see if we get him on the line to talk with him briefly about this meeting that's coming up with the Labour Minister and what they are hoping to achieve out of this meeting. Again, just to give you a quick synopsis on what has been taking place. Pension woes for the workers, they're really not getting their money, right? A lot of issues in getting their pension. Many of them have not received the settlement that was agreed upon by the management of ArcelorMittal. And what was said yesterday by Mr. Narayan Singh was for the mere fact that this issue surrounding the pension plan, what really has them upset, that it had nothing to do with the state of debt that they claim to be in. This was something that wasn't even supposed to be touched. And now they're saying that they just don't have it. So you have an additional blow to the fact that they've already been retrenched and sent home in a manner which many would deem wasn't even fit for animals. But it happened. It happened. And now you have many of them now trying to regroup at this point in time, right? Remember, once again, we're just going to let you know that people were asking about the YouTube channel, but that is finally up. And from today, we're going to start putting up all of the various videos and segments that, of course, are a part of Cloud9. So for those who would have missed it, you can take a look at it, as well as we have our Facebook page that will also be updated from today as well. So again, you can go on the Facebook page and you can place your comments and, of course, anything that you'd like to see on the program. What I'm going to do at this time while we wait, and I almost forgot, and I'm glad that I remembered. Can we get a picture back up of the PC, please? That's the officer who got shot. Can we get that picture back up? I really appreciate it, guys. Now, as I mentioned before, right? Thank God for reminding me. As I mentioned before, they're praying for a miracle. And there's a saying that speaks about man's report and God's report. And I just want to ask the nation at this time if they can join me just for a minute or so in agreement to pray for this man. At the end of the day, you know, the Bible speaks that, you know, if one or two on earth shall agree about anything that he asks for, it will be done in the Father's name. So I want, this is not just one or two here. I'm asking 1, 2 to 200,000 plus. and whoever else is probably logged on, I'm asking you all to agree with me in prayer for the healing of PC Anson Benjamin. So keep his picture up, guys, while we get into just a brief moment of prayer for Mr. Benjamin. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we bring your servant before you, dear God, PC Anson Benjamin. Lord, you know his heart. Man looks on the outside, but you look at the heart, dear God. And you know his heart. And right now he is clinging on to life. And God, you are the breath of life. You are the breath of life. You are the one that we hope for. So God, I bring this man before you. I bring your servant before you, dear God. And as we come into agreement with the nation, and we come into agreement with those around, even his family, his friends, and so forth, dear God. God, we bring him before you, dear God, and we ask, Lord, that you bring forth healing, a miraculous healing to him and to his and of course, even healing in his family, dear God, because they are struggling with this, dear God. And Lord, we ask that even the doctors are saying that there's a slim chance, God, we know with you that life can return to this man, and he can walk out of that hospital and give glory to you for what you've done. So God, we thank you for what you're about to do in his life. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so let's take a break at this time. We come back. I believe our guest is here. Our guest is here. So let's take a quick break, guys, if we can, and bring him on, and let's just get a quick update on what's happening at ArcelorMittal. Stay tuned. And welcome back to Cloud9 in our Let's Chat segment. And we'll be chatting with a man who, as I said earlier, and I said it, and I hope you're going to hear it now again. Somehow, this show, as we mentioned, is about trying to be the calm in the storm. And somehow I'm always amazed at this man's demeanor, that despite all that has been going through at ArcelorMittal, he has been able to stay very calm. And it shows your leadership quality, and it shows that you are truly, and I want to compliment you.
Thank you
very
much.
Despite all that happening, you have, at least from what I've seen, you never truly lost your cool. And that is truly a great trademark. So welcome to the program. For those, I'm sure you know him, I know he's very popular. I'm sure he didn't wish he was this popular.
No, that's in this situation.
He's the president of the Steelworkers Union Trinidad and Tobago. I've had a guest before. And we are dealing with a very, very sensitive issue, Mr. Henry.
Yes.
When you think one hurdle is over, I know there's a saying, not a level, not a devil. So, we're no devil, I have to say, my point, right? But the point is, every time you all seem to overcome one hurdle, something else happens. Yeah. And now we have this pension issue. What I thought was hurtful to me was when Mr. Narang Singh made the point that this issue with the pension, because it was a separate entity in terms of the company's financial structure, this should not have even been touched.
That is right.
So, what's going on? What's the latest now as of yesterday to today? Because now you'll have a meeting that's probably going to start probably next within the hour. So, what's
With the
happening?
Minister of Labour. Well, yesterday you would have seen us attend the creditors meeting. They tried to debar us from attending. And I want to explain that because there's a little misconception that we barge into the meeting.
Yeah, it's being said that you all just burst through the doors like, an army.
We would have gotten letters as creditors inviting us to the meeting. The meeting was also gazetted in the newspaper and, as an open meeting. The workers' interests, which we represent as a union, but we also went there with some of the workers who had their letters. So we approached them. We got registered mail letters to attend the meeting. On attending the meeting by the registration desk, they said our names wasn't given. So it was strange to us. And I say, well, you need to clear it up because firstly, we are the recognized majority union of the workers, the majority workers, and we representing them. Secondly, is we got letters to be here, and we are creditors. They took about 20 minutes. I went back to them and said, anything cleared up about this, the listing? They said no. I said, well, then we attending the meeting. We're here to attend the meeting. We invited. On trying to go into the door, they attempt to close the door with so many workers behind me, following the leader to the meeting. I couldn't turn back. The door shattered. The security was there where the bat was trying to keep us
shattered.
back. Yeah, the door just shattered glass. So I got cut. A few of us got cut to the police drew his revolver and asked. I said, sir, officer, why are you drawing your revolver? We have no arms here. That is why you see in the newspaper today everybody had their arms, their hands up. And he said, all right. Like he was kind of scared and he holstered it back. And then I asked, well, where is the meeting? And they said, well, all right, form a line. I said, well, we have been orderly for quite a while.
So you have to answer the question, was there ever any intention to have a meeting?
Us, right, that is the whole thing.
That's the question from what I'm gathering here.
Right.
Because you all got resistance from the beginning.
This is it. So there was no intention of letting us in and no intention of us being at the meeting to find out exactly who is the liquidator one, what is the process going forward as the liquidator is now appointed, because all that was being discussed at the meeting. Right. Well, we got into the meeting. The meeting after a fight, we had to go through another door upstairs. That is the next story. The security resistance there too, we got in, they allowed 3 of us to go in. And then eventually I had about 6 of us inside there with our advisor. They proceeded to appoint the liquidator. They voted. Mind you, who chaired the meeting was corporate office people from Belgium, from Luxembourg. Then who voted for the liquidator was ArcelorMittal Costa Rica, who they sent a representative, and ArcelorMittal, one of the board representatives. 2 people voted in the liquidator. They outlined what was owed, the liabilities, which amounted to about 288 million US, and the cost of the plant is 70. Now, the creditors will benefit from the sale of the plant, which is 70, and you have a liability of 288, and the workers in there somewhere. So you know
that's kind of squeezed in.
Yeah, but then so you realize when you work out the maths, there's nothing.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, so
because everybody seems to benefit except the workers.
Yeah, so that's right. There will be some creditors who will not be benefiting. And that's the main concern. We right now will not be accessing our pension until we reach age 60, each worker. We would have.
And this was not part of the workers' agreement.
No, we have a pension, and before the liquidation process started, we would have applied for pension. That is 50 to 59 workers. Right. We applied for pension thinking that they would have forwarded 209 applications. The company kept it on the desk. The meeting with the Minister of Labour, she did ask them why, and there was no answer from them. So now here it is. We have no severance benefit, no severance payment, no separation packages, no salaries, and we have now no pension.
And again, because of the retrenchment of workers, and therefore this should have already been in place to give to the workers.
Yes.
Now, I know we were kind of pressed for time, but in the next minute or so, because I'd like to bring you back on the show another time.
No problem.
The meeting that's taking place today, what are you all expecting to come out of that meeting with the Minister of Labour? Because I know this is one of many meetings that you all have had to try and resolve this issue. And,
this meeting today is with the Minister of Labour, but the joint trade union movement, of which we are part of. So the representation as it relates to our issue will be forwarded, will be placed on the agenda with the Minister of Labour. What we are expecting here is the Minister of Labour to say what is the government's position going forward here, because it is limited now, because we are trying to get it to not reach here and have an investor come in where everything will be secured as it relates to pension and too much years of service and all that. And we have passed that, we now in liquidation state. We are asking that the government facilitate this whole process of, if there is an investor, to speed up the process so that we can get back on our jobs.
And, and their investors, I believe, that are still interested.
Yes, they are still interested, and they will be bidding on the 70 or whatever they're bidding to get in there.
Well, again, it's a reason to smile still, huh?
Yes, thank you.
So thank you very much. This is the president of the Steelworkers Union, Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Christopher Henry. Of course, we want to thank him for joining us and said briefly, and we're going to keep you updated tomorrow. It's going to say exactly what's coming out of this meeting today. Yeah. Let's take a quick break. We come back. We're going to wrap things up on the program with our Be Inspired segment right here on Cloud 9. Keep it locked.
See, he looked so handsome, so good, so healthy. I didn't know, and I unknowingly got it from him. I tested positive for HIV, and when the doctor gave me the news, I knew my life would never be the same. But a statistic I said I'd never be. So beginning from that day, 10 years ago, I began writing my own success story. My days are filled with love, fun, and laughter because my family stood with me, supported me, and did not reject me. I am a success story. Even my doctors worked with me, and I've religiously taken my meds to remain healthy. I am a success story. Risky sexual behaviors I no longer engage in. Instead, I choose to encourage you young man, you young woman. The safe choice is really the right choice. And wait, be responsible, be accountable, know the facts, and I tell you, you too can have your own success story.
And welcome back to Cloud 9 right here on ACTN. A really wonderful program today. We squeezed in a lot so we can breathe now. We're coming to the end of another program. And amidst everything that we discussed today, from the issue of child abuse to the issue of the workers who have been retrenched, we all realized at the end of it all, there was a reason to smile, because solutions can be found. The solutions are there. We just have to find the will to do it. And of course, that prayer we said for PC Benjamin, I'm hoping that now we can't just pray today and stop. I'm asking everyone to continue praying for his full recovery in the name of Jesus. We declare that he will be healed. Let's keep him in prayer. We're going to keep you updated on that story as well. All right, so we're going to close off thing right now with our Be Inspired segment. What's our Be Inspired quote for today? Let's go. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. We must learn to adjust our sails. When the storms of life come at us, when trials come, we need to learn how to strategize and adjust our sails. And this brings us to the end of another episode of ACTN Cloud 9, right here on Channel 9. Yay. And I want to thank, of course, the ACTN staff, all the crew, for all the support over the last few days. I'll be back with you once again tomorrow, same time, same channel. Remember, this program repeats this evening at 6 p.m. And for those who are looking at 6 p.m., good evening to you. So take care of yourselves and each other. God bless you. Remember, Cloud 9, the only show that can truly make you smile. Love you.
And just a show my love in a see, I know Chacha never gonna let me down. No, no, no. On the Manuel, you already found. Them cannot touch the positive because me a survivor. The wicked I go feel the fire that me all a driver. Yeah. See, my life has been a struggle for a long, long time. Yeah. Wow. Man, I love you above my Jesus. You are so divine. I'll never let go. Because I try to give me the strength, this I know. God will never let me down. He's the driver of my vehicle. I'll never let go. Because I try to give me the strength, this I know. God will never let me down. He's the father for the people. I give my life to Jesus Christ, my everything. More clearly I can see. The Lamb upon the throne has been my righteousness. I'll fulfill destiny. It's like a feeling that I can't explain.